Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher this week is Charles Eisenstein. And today's journey takes us through our relationships with the people around us and also the world at large, really. Somebody, good morning. Awesome seeing you. Hello. It has become clear that our survival self is primed to discriminate. The most primitive part of our brain is hardwired for survival and ready to cast suspicion on anything and anyone that seems different or not from our tribe. That's where today's message starts. I remember growing up in South Africa during a time where the word discrimination became like the ultimate insult. And it was associated with the bad guys, the old government and their evil worldview. I really do love humans, and I'm forever a student of how we develop and what makes us do the things that we do. And I've learned that discrimination is not just what bad people do, not just what the bad guys did. We are all, in a way, capable of discriminating in one form of another or another. In fact, discrimination in some way or form is probably one of our default settings. And this is one of the ways. This is kind of how it works. Charlene, good morning. Good to see you. Hello. Our survival self, the most primitive part of who we are, is primed to discriminate. We have an ancient and inherent need for survival from a long time ago, when almost any stranger we'd come across would pose an existential threat. Any stranger? Well, depending on where in the world and what time in our history, yes, anyone from our own tribe would naturally be known to us. And anyone you do not know would therefore be from another tribe. Coming across a stranger would have to set off all of the alarm bells. We live in a different world today. If we were to go out to the grocery store today, how many strangers would you encounter? And how many of them would legitimately pose a threat? Probably none of them. But we still carry this same ancient programming, this knee-jerk discrimination that divides people into tribe and other in order to establish our own safe in-group in opposition to the unsafe out-group. Tanya, very good morning or afternoon or evening, wherever in the world you are. We have this instinct in common with all other animals, and therefore it's clear that while this is at times necessary for survival, it is part of our lower nature. But then here is how we are different from our animal friends. We do have the ability to transcend our lower nature, to see beyond just our own survival and reach for the greater good of all. I realize that every time I point a finger and create an us versus them, then I am a part of the problem. I am then contributing to the division in the world. This doesn't necessarily make the trouble in the world any easier to deal with, but it leaves me with one option only, and I like this option. The only option left open to me is, how do we do this together? How do we become better at doing this together? We are never going to build a better world while leaving anyone behind. The only way this works is if we are able to open our hearts and also reach the hearts of those who we completely disagree with. I'm not trying to say this is easy, but it is the only option I've left open for myself, and I'm extremely comfortable with that. Charles Eisenstein has a few really beautiful thoughts that connect with this. He says, we have to create conditions where people feel safe to feel and to care. That goes against a lot of our programming about how to make something change in the world. Sometimes you can pressure people into changing. You can force them, but the powers that be have more force than we do. I don't think we're going to win in a contest of force. I think we need to induce a change of heart. The narrative of us versus them is ultimately part of the problem. Traditional activism, which is about overcoming the latest bad guy, is just not deep enough. It just brings another version of the same problem. The next thought from Charles Eisenstein is, when both sides of a controversy revel in the defeat and humiliation of the other side, then in fact they are on the same side. They are both on the side of war. And the last thought for today from Charles Eisenstein is, are the problems in the world caused by bad people who need to be crushed? Or do people do bad things when they are in a certain situation? If it is the latter, we can go around crushing the villains for another 1,000 years and nothing will change. And is that not exactly what we've been doing, crushing the villains for the last 1,000 years? And apparently that's not brought us to a much better place right now. So today's meditation doesn't look at the world problems at large like this, but it does help us look at the humans around us and decide how we want to see the humans around us. How much do we want to put humans and ourselves in this us versus them space? Today's meditation is called TONGLEN. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and we'll float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Anita, a very good morning. I hope you have some time to sit down with us. Here we go. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. For a moment, as you continue your full body breathing, bring to mind a green leaf on a tree. And as you inhale and exhale, remind yourself of the inhaling and exhaling of a leaf. How a leaf breathes in what we think of as toxic. And how a leaf exhales what we think of as good. Breathing in carbon dioxide and breathing out oxygen. Now imagine for a moment we are all a collection of green leaves on a tree. As we continue our full body breathing together, just imagine for a moment we are inhaling the dark clouds around us, the dark clouds around our tree. We are breathing it into our bellies. And in our bellies, these dark clouds are transformed. In our bellies, these dark clouds are turned into bright light. And as we exhale around our tree, we can see the light grow. Just imagine for a moment how our tree, with all of us as green leaves, are clearing the air around us. And how the circle of light around our tree grows bigger and bigger. And as we produce more and more light around our tree, we can eventually see that there are more trees. There are more trees doing the same. More trees breathing in the dark clouds and exhaling bright light. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, bring your attention to your spine. See if you're able to tilt your head to the left while you tilt your hips to the right, curving your spine into an S from your head down to your tailbone. Then switch. Tilt your head to the right and your hips to the left. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we possibly can be right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a long, slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, Feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up your belly, as if there's a balloon in your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, the reminder is that our journey today is called TONGLEN. It is a practice of looking at the humans around us and recognizing that for some of these humans we get along with well, for some of them we really don't. But in a way, we're very similar. In a way, we're all sharing a very similar experience. We're all dealing with our own stuff. We're likely all fighting our own inner battles. We don't see that when we look at the humans around us. And they don't see that when they look at us. So maybe for a moment we can remind ourselves that we're not so different from the humans around us. Take your next big breath. Our journey of TONGLEN starts right at home, and then we'll make that circle bigger and bigger. So right now, bring to your mind all of the humans that you share a home with. And not only share a home with right now, but the humans that you used to share a home with. And you can, of course, include those humans who have passed on. You can bring them into your mind and in your heart as well. As you take a look at this group of humans, you can do the exercise for every one of them, the whole group together, or you can do the exercise for whoever gets your attention today, who catches your attention. Imagine for a moment the old saying, everyone is fighting a battle we know nothing about. These humans in your exercise right now, the ones you share a home with or used to share a home with, they are each or have each been dealing with their own stuff, dealing with their own wounds. For a moment, imagine the stuff that they've been dealing with as a dark cloud around them. Imagine it as something you can physically see. And then as you do this exercise, as you take a deep breath in, just imagine for a moment you could breathe in that dark cloud. Inhale it. Breathe it all the way deep into your belly. Fill your belly with this dark cloud. And then feel what happens inside of you when this dark cloud comes in contact with the light that you are. It gets transformed. In your belly, feel how it warms up and how this dark cloud is turned into bright light. And as you breathe out, see yourself breathing light into the space around them. And see their faces as they recognize the light around them. Take your next big breath. Are you able to recognize someone dealing with their own wounds? And sometimes people have moments where they're dealing with their woundedness gracefully. But more often than not, we don't do that well when we're dealing with our own wounds. Very often, we take our own woundedness out on the humans around us. This is not to say that we should not have boundaries and not protect ourselves, because we should. But even while we're enforcing boundaries, can we remember that we're all human beings, all having some experience of being hurt in the past, and perhaps in an effort to protect ourselves, perhaps we're just not always dealing with our wounds gracefully. Let's make the circle slightly wider. Bring together all of your family in the circle. Grandparents, parents, uncles and aunts, siblings, cousins, nieces, nephews, children. A circle with all of these family members. Then as you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, you can do the exercise for the whole group together or for whoever stands out to you today. As you breathe in, just imagine breathing in the dark clouds that they've been dealing with, their pain and their suffering. And as you hold a belly filled with these dark clouds, feel how this dark cloud transforms when it comes in contact with the love that you are. Feel how your belly warms up, and as you exhale, see yourself breathe light into the space around them. See them surrounded by light and watch their faces as they recognize the light around them. Take your next big breath. For the moment, can you recognize another soul having a human experience in a similar way that your soul is having its human experience? We'll make the circle bigger. This time include everybody you know. These are friends, these are colleagues, these are friends of family members, your children's teachers, everyone you know in one big group together. You can do the exercise for the whole group, or do the exercise for whoever stands out to you today. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, inhale their dark clouds. Breathe it deep into your belly, hold it there and feel how your belly warms up. How dark clouds get transformed into bright light. And as you exhale, breathe light into their space. See them surrounded by light. Take your next big breath. For the moment, can you recognize a fellow human being or fellow human beings dealing with their own battles, fighting their own inner battles that we perhaps don't really know about. We'll make the circle much bigger. This time include all the humans you ever come into contact with. Faces without names, mostly. Sometimes we sit in our own bubbles at a traffic light and recognize the humans around us in their own bubbles too. Often we don't recognize, but sometimes we do. Or walking in a shopping center, sometimes we have this moment of recognition that these humans are all on their own journeys, just like I am on mine. Sometimes there are some of these faces we see often. The security guard, the waitress, the cashier, the gas station attendant. Bring them all together and do the exercise either for this whole group of strangers, or perhaps one of these faces stand out to you today. As you take your next big breath and dive deep into you, inhale all of their dark clouds. Breathe it deep into your belly. And as you hold the belly filled with these dark clouds, feel what happens as your love touches these dark clouds. Feel how dark clouds get transformed into bright light, and then breathe your light into the space around them. Take your next big breath. One more time. This time we make the circle much smaller again. Bring all of these humans sitting with you in this exercise. Bring them into a circle together. Also each fighting a battle that we might know nothing about. As you take a deep breath in, see yourself inhale their dark clouds. Hold it in your belly and feel how your love changes this. How your love changes dark clouds into light. And then exhale into this space, light from your heart. And know that you are surrounded by light too. Take your next big breath. we'll take one more big breath together to slip out of the breath-holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back, or even lie all the way back down, and feel yourself just floating. I'll read today's thoughts from Charles Eisenstein to you one more time. And this is just a recognition of how we can choose to look at the world, how we can choose to look at the humans around us. It's very easy to get stuck in seeing everything that's wrong in the world, seeing everything that's wrong in the humans around us. But it tends to not even serve us when we see the world that way. Charles Eisenstein reminds us we have to create conditions where people feel safe to feel and to care. And that goes against a lot of our programming. It goes against how we've been taught to make change in the world. Sometimes you can pressure people into changing. Sometimes you can force them. But the bigger things in the world, the powers that be, have more force than we do. It's unlikely we can force everything to change. He says, I don't think we're going to win in a contest of force. I think we need to induce a change of heart. The narrative of us versus them is ultimately a part of the problem. Traditional activism, which is about overcoming the latest bad guy, it just doesn't go deep enough. It just brings us another version of the same thing. He says, when both sides of a controversy revel in the defeat and humiliation of the other side, then in fact they are on the same side. They are both on the side of war. And don't we see that so clearly right now? How on so many topics, both sides are hoping they can destroy the other side. Both sides are reveling in the humiliation of the other side. Both sides are doing the exact same thing. If you are in a group of people throwing rocks at the other group of people, then you're still just in a mob throwing rocks. The last thought from Charles Eisenstein: are the problems in the world caused by bad people who need to be crushed? Or do people do bad things when they are in certain situations? If it's the latter, then we can go around crushing the villains for another 1,000 years, and still nothing will change. This, of course, is never to say that we should not have boundaries. This is not to say that we should not protect ourselves. But it does speak to which part of us tries to set these boundaries. Are we trying to hold and maintain boundaries by the most wounded parts of ourselves? Or are we developing our wisdom and then trying to navigate the world, setting boundaries when we need to, from our wisest selves? We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for not being the only human being on this planet. That would suck. It would suck being the only human being on this planet. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for accepting then that if I'm not the only human being, I'm going to have to deal with lots and lots of other human beings that don't see things exactly the way I do. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning to understand that all these other human beings that share the planet with me, they are likely to be wounded and acting and reacting from their wounds. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for recognizing souls having their human experience. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for the light that you bring to the world. Thank you for the light that you bring into people's lives around you. And again, I'm not trying to say that seeing the world this way makes things easy necessarily. But can we at least try and operate from a level of understanding? And when we do, perhaps we're not so quick to attack or wound the humans around us. We certainly live in a time right now where a lot of that is happening, where the world is torn into camps. Let's not be in a camp throwing rocks at the other camp. Lots of love to you all. Have a beautiful day. See you again soon. Ciao, ciao.